Why does it sometimes feel like the whole world is pressing down on your chest? Bad news flows in like an endless tide. Wars on one shore, disasters on another, prices climbing, the climate shifting. Even if these storms aren't crashing right at your doorstep, they still seep into your home, into your mind, through every screen and scroll. But here's the truth. This space is about more than just making it through the day. It's about learning how to stand steady when everything else is shaking, how to keep your mind clear, your emotions balanced, and your heart at peace in the middle of the noise. And while we walk through this reflection together, you'll also be gently training your English with real, emotional language you'll actually use. So every word you hear is a quiet step forward, not just in your mindset, but in your fluency too. I'd love to know, where in the world are you right now? What time is it? What are you doing as you listen? Your words in the comments are like little lights to me, each one a reminder that none of us are truly alone in this. So, let's begin. And let's talk about how the chaos out there really touches the world inside you. You might think, that crisis is far away. It can't touch me. But in this age, distance doesn't protect us the way it used to. News travels faster than the wind. A single headline can cross oceans in seconds, landing in your pocket, on your pillow, in your mind. It's like walking through a crowded street where everyone is carrying buckets of worry, and without noticing, a few drops spill onto you. Suddenly you feel heavier, but you don't know why. Your chest tightens, your focus slips, your patience thins. This isn't weakness. This is what it means to be human in a hyper-connected world. Stress doesn't always knock on the door. Sometimes it slips in through the cracks. The first step to staying mentally strong is not to ignore it, but to recognize it, to name it. Because once you see how the outside noise echoes inside, you can choose how loud you let it play. And that choice is where your power begins. Your mind is like a phone battery, powerful but not infinite. Every thought you give away is a little drop of energy gone. And the truth is, doom scrolling, replaying the worst headlines, worrying about things far beyond your reach, it drains you faster than you realize. One moment, you're fine. The next, you're at 2%. No focus for your work, no patience for your family, no spark for the things that bring you joy. Protecting your mental energy doesn't mean turning your back on the world. It means choosing what gets a piece of your battery today. It's the difference between standing in the rain for hours or stepping under an umbrella so you can still walk forward. You can care deeply about what's happening out there and still protect the peace in here. Because when you guard your energy, you don't just survive the day. You have something left to give. There's a way to care that doesn't crush you. Think of it like holding a candle. You protect its flame, but you don't set yourself on fire. Maybe you read the news in the morning, let yourself feel the sadness or the anger, but then you close the tab, take a breath, and step back into your own life. You call a friend, you water a plant, you move your body. You do one small, good thing that reminds you the world is not only pain. What's not healthy is sitting in the heaviness all day, letting it seep into every conversation, every quiet moment, until it feels like part of your skin. That's not compassion, that's slow self-destruction. True compassion is balanced. It says, I will show up for the world, but I will also show up for myself. Because when you take care of your spirit, your care for others becomes lighter, brighter, and longer lasting. When the world feels like it's spinning too fast, it's easy to feel small, like you're just holding on, waiting for it to slow down. But there's a simple question that can steady you. What can I control right now? Not next week, not next year, just now. You can control the tone of your next conversation. You can control what you feed your mind, what words you speak over yourself, how many times you open the news app today. You can't stop the storms out there, but you can choose the weather in your own home. It's like standing on a small patch of solid ground while the tide rushes in. You don't have to stop the ocean. You just have to plant your feet where they're safe. That focus doesn't just calm your mind, it brings you home to yourself. When life outside feels like chaos, routine becomes your safe harbor. It's not about productivity charts or perfect schedules. It's about creating small, steady markers in your day that remind you not everything is falling apart. Your morning coffee in the same mug, a walk when the sun is low, 10 quiet minutes with your journal before bed. These rituals are like anchors dropped into shifting waters. They tell your nervous system, here, at least, is something I can count on. Even making your bed in the morning, that one small act of order whispers to your brain, I still have choices, I still have control. And in a world that feels unpredictable, those choices are gold. They keep you from drifting too far into the storm. They help you remember your life is more than the chaos around it. News is rarely designed to calm you. It's designed to grab you, to shock, to pull you in, to keep you clicking. And when you're fed a constant diet of violence, tragedy, and outrage, your nervous system starts to believe you're living inside those stories. Your heart races, your shoulders tense, your breath shortens, even if you're sitting safely at your kitchen table. Your body can't always tell the difference between danger you see and danger you're in. That's why, after a while, you might feel anxious for no clear reason, or even numb. It's not weakness, it's your mind's way of trying to cope with overload. The responsibility isn't to consume everything, it's to protect the channels into your mind, to choose when and how you let information in. Because peace isn't just found in quiet places. Sometimes it's built by turning down the volume. You don't have to live in a bubble to protect your peace, but you do need boundaries. Check the news once a day, not 10. Read it instead of scrolling. Scrolling is designed to hook you, not help you. Choose sources that tell you what's happening without wrapping it in panic. And when you've finished reading, step away. Open a window. Feel the air. Call someone who makes you laugh. Do one small thing that reminds you life is bigger than headlines. Because information without action just breeds anxiety. But when you balance knowing with doing, you turn that information into something useful, something that strengthens you instead of slowly draining you. Gratitude won't erase the darkness, but it will change the way you see it. When your mind is surrounded by shadows, it starts looking for more shadows. Gratitude flips the switch, even if it's just a tiny one. 3 things, every day. That's all it takes. A friend's smile, a warm meal, the sound of rain at night. These aren't small. They're everything. They're proof that beauty, comfort, and joy still exist in the same world that feels so heavy. Gratitude isn't denial, it's defiance. It says, I see the darkness, but I will not forget the light. And the more you practice it, the more your mind learns to find that light on its own. Hope isn't pretending everything is fine. That's denial. Hope is looking straight at the mess and still believing something better is possible. It's a choice, a habit, and sometimes a fight. Real hope says, yes, the world is noisy and complicated, but I still believe in people, in change, in growth.
And when you carry that belief, it's like fuel in your chest. It keeps you moving forward when you'd rather stop. Hope doesn't make you naive, it makes you resilient. It's not closing your eyes to what's wrong, it's keeping them open long enough to notice what's still worth fighting for. And in a world that loves to shout about everything broken, hope is the quiet voice that says, not everything is lost. Not yet.
Silence can feel safe, but it's heavy. When you lock your feelings inside, they don't disappear, they sink. And sooner or later, they resurface as tension, irritability, sadness, or even sickness. Talking is like opening a window in a stuffy room. Whether it's with a friend, a therapist, or a page in your journal, letting the air in releases the pressure. You don't have to explain everything perfectly. You don't have to find the right words. You just have to open the door and let someone step into your world for a moment. Because you were never meant to carry every weight alone. And you're not the only one feeling this way.
Your body and mind are more connected than most people realize. When your body moves, your brain breathes. It doesn't have to be a gym session or a perfect workout. A slow walk under the trees, stretching your arms while the kettle boils, dancing in your kitchen to one song you love. Movement shakes loose the tension that collects in your muscles and your mind. It tells your nervous system, we're safe now. It clears the mental fog, brightens your mood, and gives you a sense of space inside yourself. In a chaotic world, your body can be the most grounded place you know, but only if you let it move.
When everything feels uncertain, connection is what steadies us. Not the number of followers, not the quick likes, but the kind of connection where someone truly listens and you truly share. It can be a friend who knows your pauses as well as your words, a community where you don't have to pretend. Even one deep conversation can feel like oxygen after holding your breath too long. Humans aren't designed to carry pain alone, and while connection can't erase the chaos, it can make the weight bearable. Sometimes just knowing you too is enough to bring you back to yourself, and in those moments, you remember we're all walking through the storm together, holding on to each other as we go. When the world feels dim, creativity is a match you can strike yourself. Writing, painting, cooking, learning a new skill. These aren't distractions. They're ways of giving your mind and heart fresh air. Every time you learn something new, your brain builds new pathways. Every time you create, you give your emotions a safe place to flow. It could be as small as writing a single sentence in your journal or learning one new English word today. Creativity reminds you, you are more than a consumer of news, more than a witness to problems. You are a maker, a grower, a builder. And when you make something, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that life is still moving forward. And so are you. Being hard on yourself doesn't make you stronger, it just makes you tired. In difficult times, what you need most isn't a harsher inner critic, but a kinder inner voice. Self-compassion is speaking to yourself the way you would to someone you love who's hurting. Gently, patiently, without judgment. It's reminding yourself that you don't have to be perfect to keep going. Think of it like wrapping a wounded hand before it can heal. You protect it, you tend to it, you give it the time it needs. That's what compassion does for your spirit. And every time you choose to treat yourself with that softness, you're building something invisible but powerful, resilience that lasts far beyond the storm.
Many of us feel a sting of guilt when we rest, unplug, or say no. We call it selfish. But that's a lie the world has whispered for too long. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot show up strong for others if you're running on fumes. Caring for yourself is not selfish. It's strategic. It's how you make sure you can keep caring tomorrow and the next day. When you rest, you refill. When you protect your peace, you sharpen your clarity. The world doesn't need more burnt-out bitter hearts. It needs steady ones, clear ones, kind ones. So let the guilt go. Your well-being is not a luxury. It's the foundation for everything else you give.
It's easy to underestimate the quiet habits. Drinking water, stepping outside, taking 3 deep breaths, sharing a laugh, writing 1 line in a journal. But these little anchors can hold you in place when the waves rise. They don't demand hours of your time, they just ask for consistency. On hard days, they remind you, I'm okay, I'm grounded, I can take the next step. On better days, they strengthen the roots you'll need for the next storm. You don't need a perfect routine or a flawless life. You just need a few steady threads woven through your days, threads strong enough to catch you when you feel like you're slipping. Peace isn't something you stumble upon. It's something you build, choice by choice. You build it when you pause before reacting, when you choose kindness over cutting words, when you forgive, unplug, or simply take 1 slow, steady breath. Each of these acts is like placing a brick in a wall that shields your mind from the chaos outside. Over time, those small choices create a space inside you that the noise can't penetrate. In a world that constantly demands your attention, peace becomes your quiet rebellion, your way of saying, I decide what lives in my mind. In the darkest moments, remember this: you are not alone. Someone, somewhere, is feeling exactly what you're feeling. Someone else is carrying a weight that looks like yours. That truth doesn't erase the pain, but it softens its edges. And deeper still, nothing lasts forever. Not fear, not grief, not even this moment. So breathe. Keep moving, even if it's only an inch at a time. Protect that tiny spark of hope, because a single spark can light the next step and the next. Hope doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's just a quiet whisper. Not yet. I'm still here. And for today, that's enough. We've walked through so much together: fear, news, routines, connection, gratitude, rest, hope. And I hope you leave this space not just as an English learner, but as someone who remembers their own strength. Life can be heavy, the world can be loud, but inside you, there is a part that knows how to keep going, a part that can choose peace even in the storm. Every time you protect your energy, every time you speak gently to yourself, every time you reach for connection instead of isolation, you are not just surviving, you are becoming stronger, wiser, softer in the ways that matter. And I'm proud of you for that. Stay safe, stay steady, and keep learning in English, in life, in love, no matter what.